Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharyam Ashtottara Srimad Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Shripad Pujaniya Ramanujacharya Ki. All glories to Samul devotees, all glories to Samul devotees, all glories to Samul devotees, all glories to Shri Guru Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But why do we, if we're having Bhagavatam class, and we recite this for Bhagavatam, why do we say this when we're going to talk about a devotee? Yes, two Bhagavats, right? The person Bhagavat and the book Bhagavat. And they are the same. I forgot to bring my, is there an outlet here? Yes. Can someone go get my cord? My computer may die. It's in my room on the floor. Right. Card charger, yes, thank you. So, before we speak, we should offer obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. He Guru Jnanada Dina Bandho Swanandadata Kurunaika Sindho Vrindavanasina Hitavatara Prasidha Radha Pranaya Prachara Mande Nantan Bhuteshwayam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Nichopi Yat Prasadat Sad Bhakti Shastra Bhavartaka Nityananda Maham Nomi Sarvananda Karam Param Harinama Padam Devam Avaduta Shiromanim Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadravyam Jagannataya Te Namaha Saptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vrindaye Tulsi Devaye Priyaye Keshava Saja Krishna Bhakti Pari Devi Satyavate Namaha Vancha Kopatubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bheva Patitanum Yo Vaishnava Namaha. So today is the appearance day, the blessed appearance day of Srila Ramanujacharya. He was born in a Tamil Brahmin family. The date of his birth and his length of his life is debated. There's many things that are, people people have different opinions. But more or less people agree that he lived for 80 years and that he was born in 1017. So more than 1,000 years ago. This bhakti was being practiced. He was a disciple of Yamunacharya. There's a very nice story about his relationship with Yamunacharya, who was the disciple of Nathar Muni, who was considered to be like an avatar of Vishnu. So Nath Muni was the teacher, disciple, guru of Yamunacharya, who was acknowledged as the most prominent guru of the time. And Yamunacharya, Ramanujacharya, took shelter of him, but he didn't take initiation. He took initiation from Kanchipurna. He went there at the last moment of Yamunacharya's life, hoping to get his association, his blessing at the last moments of his life, but he'd already left. But the fingers of his right hand were like this. And people, why is his hand like this? Other one is in Jnana Mudra. Other hand is like this. I thought, why? So Ramanuja could understand that there are three unfulfilled desires of his guru. As a guru, because guru doesn't mean just by initiation. Guru means by siksha also. Srila Prabhupada writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 1, Guru Tattva. Whole thing begins, Guru Tattva, Prabhus. First chapter, verse 34. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that siksha and diksha are equal and identical manifestations of Krishna. Equal and identical, quote unquote, equal and identical. Siksha Guru is your guru. Someone who's helping you, who's pushing you forward, who's strengthening your relationship with your Diksha Guru. He is called Siksha Guru. This is why we take Siksha within the society of ISKCON and not outside. Because Siksha's Guru, one of his functions is to strengthen your relationship with your Diksha Guru. He doesn't speak contrary to what you learn from your Diksha Guru. So Yamunacharya was like Siksha Guru to Ramanujacharya. And after he left, his hand was like this. So Ramanuja can understand he had unfulfilled desires. So Ramanujacharya took a vow, said, I will teach Krishna Bhakti, surrender to the Lord, and defeat Mayavad. And one finger came out. He'd already left his body, but one finger comes out. He vowed, I will write a detailed commentary on the devotional poems of the Alvars. Another finger came out. That I will write a Vaishnava commentary on Vedanta Sutra and reestablish the position of Vyasadeva and name a disciple after him. Three fingers came out. As he made these vows, fulfilling the unfulfilled desires of his Guru Ramanujacharya. So he was a great teacher in the Bhakti tradition and Sri Sampradaya. There's four bona fide Sampradayas, right? What are they? Brahma Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and Kumara Sampradaya. So he was directly blessed by Goddess Lakshmi and as the representative to found this Sri Sampradaya, one of the bona fide Sampradayas. He taught Vasishtadvaita, qualified non-dualism, almost exactly the same as our Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva. That the soul is distinct from Brahman and he is distinct from the Lord. We have a separate identity eternally from the Lord. As we read in Bhagavad Gita, Mamayavamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashastan indriyani prakriti stani karshati. If we're God, then why prakriti stani karshati? Why struggle for existence? If you're God, just arrange your life. Don't get old. Don't die. Don't become diseased. Don't be born again. Just arrange your life for your satisfaction, but they cannot. So Krishna is saying, you're my angsha. Mama eva angsha. Mama eva angsho. Jiva loki. The jiva is the anks of the Lord, sanatana, eternally. Not that we lose our identity and merge into the totality of Brahman. This is completely refuted in Bhagavad Gita. First chapter, Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Natva ham jatu nasam, natam nemai janadipa, nachayvana bhavishama, sarvavayam, atak param. Krishna told Arjuna that never there was a time when I did not exist, Krishna speaking, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. We don't lose our identity. Arjuna, actually, this is an interesting story. Srila Prabhupada was asked a question in a letter. Do Arjuna and Kunti Maharani go back to Godhead? What do you think? Do they go back to Godhead? Trick question. What do you think, Prabhu? He's personal associate of the Lord. He's family member of the Lord. Do you think he goes back to Godhead? Hmm? Yeah, they're already with Krishna. They don't go, he said, Prabhupada said, they don't go back to Godhead. They're eternal associates, a nitya parikar of the Lord. Wherever Krishna is speaking, speaking to Arjuna, Arjuna is there. This is Lord's nitya lila. Nitya lila means it's going on somewhere. Here, the sun has just risen. Somewhere it's setting. Somewhere it's noon. Right? The sun is, in that sense, nitya. It's always visible somewhere, or as it's invisible somewhere, it's visible somewhere else. So Krishna comes, does his pastime, and goes somewhere else to do the same thing with his associates, like Arjuna. Srila Prabhupada gave another example. If you're looking out a window and you see a car come running by, you see it for a fraction of a moment. But has it stopped moving? The car is still moving. You just see it for a short period of time. So Krishna comes here. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat. He comes here to this world, exhibits his pastimes, and goes and does the same thing somewhere else. And his devotees like Arjuna and Kunti Maharani accompany him. So they're always with Krishna. Exactly correct, Prabhu. They're always with Krishna. So, where was I going with that? He taught this. Bhagavad Gita teaches us that the soul is different from the Supreme Soul, Atma and Paramatma. You see, Madhvacharya taught the same thing. You see a picture of Madhvacharya, very like a wrestler's body. He's ready for kushti, and he's like this. Atma, Paramatma, two. Dvaitavad, they're different, not Advaita Vedanta. They're eternally separate, and Ramanuja taught the same thing, basically. And established it all over the world because there's a history to the evolution of Vaishnavism. Under the, with the help of Maharaj Ashok, Buddhism spread all over the world. So Buddhism is good because Lord Buddha taught non-violence, ahimsa paramo dharma. that don't follow Veda, follow me. Because in the name of Vedic sacrifice, they're doing animal sacrifices. Instead of giving life to a new animal, to an old animal, the new animal comes out, it became like barbecue. They're just slaughtering animals, cooking and eating. So Buddha forbade Vedic sacrifice. He said, reject Veda, follow me. Buddhism, nirvishesha. No, shunyata. We say nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatyadesh. So they taught, Buddha taught shunyata, that there's no God, there's no soul, this is all illusion. And don't follow Veda, follow me. So because he's Leela avatar of the Lord. Leela avatar, Lord Buddha? Is that right? Shakti avatar? I get confused, who's who? Anyway, avatar of the Lord. One of the avatars of the Lord. So they made progress. They're advancing by following Buddha. They're coming from light, from darkness to light by following Buddha. But what is this nonsense Buddhism? No soul, no God. What is the meaning? Nihilism. Either if you can't follow it, then just kill yourself. Why not? You don't exist. Everything's an illusion. So Shankara came and pushed out Buddhism. He taught we follow Veda, there is God, but he's Nirvishesh Brahman, Nirakar Brahman. And this is foolish idea also. But Shankara is doing this on order of the Lord to give a twisted understanding of Veda with the intent of pushing out Buddhism from India. But he gave this Nirakar understanding of God. If God is Nirakar, Nirvishesh, how can he bless you? Because blessing means he has quality. If he has no quality, who are you praying to? How do you pray to nothing? How do you worship nothing? Klesha dikataras tesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyaktahi gatir dukam dehavabhir avapyate. Bhagavad Gita describes 12th chapter. Arjuna asked him, what is the best way to worship God? In his impersonal form or his personal form? So Krishna spoke this, that this is nearly impossible. How do you worship nothing? How do you think of nothing? This Brahman, Nirakar Brahman means nothing, zero. No form, no quality, no like, no dislike, no blessing, no non-blessing. How they're worshiping, oh, give your blessing. Who is giving blessing? How do you get blessing from a light, from Brahmajyoti? It's just there. No blessing is available. But this is better than Buddhism. So Shankara cleared the way for Vaishnavism. Ramanuja and Madhva established Vaishnavism all over India. And of course, the next logical step is who took Vaishnavism all over the world? Srila Prabhupada. Madhva and Ramanuja never left India. They never left. They did tremendous service for the mission of Vaishnava Dharma, but they never left India. So the natural next step is this Gaudiya Vaishnavism, because in Sri Vaishnavism, they say there's no such thing, no such person as Radharani. Which means, what's the value of chanting Hare Krishna? They say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, that has recently changed. I think it was one of the Madhva Sampradayas, they acknowledged the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Ramanuja people don't accept that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that chanting Hare Krishna is the means of salvation. They say only prapatti, that surrender. You surrender it once, you're good for life. You go to Vaikuntha, you get Sarupya Mukti, you get four-handed form just like Vishnu, and this is nothing more than that. But this is not very attractive, to come before the Lord with awe and reverence, to worship your God. I bow down to you. I have to be very careful around you. This isn't pleasing to Krishna. It's explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The cowherd boys are challenging Krishna. Come on, you and me, let's wrestle. And Subal is pinning Krishna to the ground, and Krishna is enjoying like anything. This is the intimacy of bhakti. that isn't available. Can you wrestle with Lord Vishnu? Can you eat off Lord Nishingadeva's plate? The offering to Lord Nishingadev, ding, 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 one for you, ding, 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 one for me, ding, 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 one for you. This is going on in Goloka, in Braj Bhakti, Braj Prem. No separation. Krishna feels his ego as I'm a cowherd boy. I'm just one of the boys. And the other Gopals treat him in this way. So this is a natural conclusion of this progression from nihilism to impersonalism to personalism, Vaishnavism, in awe and reverence to Madhurya Leela that was brought to this world, was first manifest in Madhavendra Puri in our disciplic succession. So he taught Vasishtha Advaita, qualified non-dualism. And they say that Bhakti, Adi Shankara, taught that Bhakti is like a ladder. He said Bhakti is very good as a means for achieving moksha. Is that right? Devotees are liberated, right? So we practice Bhakti and we get moksha. Is that right? No? Why? You're shaking your head, no. Because? Yes, so we serve Krishna, then when you become liberated, bye-bye Krishna, right? The devotees are already liberated because they are engaged in service. So bhakti is not like a ladder. The Mayavadis say bhakti is like a ladder. You need to cross the wall. You put a ladder in the wall. You walk up the steps to the ladder. You cross the wall, and you kick the ladder away. Done. It's like they do this. Ganesh Chaturthi. They do big festival, especially in Mumbai and Maharashtra. Like big festival, big huge Ganesh, and everyone worships. Bappa Maya, and they make big festival. Then what do? They throw him in the ocean. Bye-bye, Ganesh. We're going to celebrate Ram Navami. We're going to worship Ram. And then we're worshiping you. We got your blessing. Now we're going to throw you in the ocean. Go throw you in Ganga. No. Bhakti is not like this. Bhakti is not a ladder that is kicked away when we get what we want from Krishna. So there's a nice leela with, originally Ramanuja took initiation from Yadava Prakash, his teacher. Yadava Prakash was Advaitavad, a follower of Advaita Vedanta, that I am God. There's no difference that God, Atma, and Paramatma, one, same. So he served his guru very nicely, and one day he was massaging his guru's feet, and his guru began to speak from Shastra. He quoted one verse that means Kapyasam. He said Kapyasam means that the Lord's eyes, the Lord's lotus eyes, are not lotus, they are the color of the rear end of a monkey. The color of a monkey's buttock. And although Ramanuja is massaging his guru's feet, he couldn't tolerate, because Yadava Prakash is always preaching this Advaita Vedanta. And as a devotee, Ramanuja couldn't tolerate, but he tolerated. But this came to the point, I cannot tolerate. And tears, hot tears came from his eyes and fell on the body of his guru. His guru was shocked. Why these hot tears? Why these hot tears? He said, because your interpretation of Kapyasam is incorrect. And Yadava Prakash became furious, shouting, so you think you're better than your guru? Then what is your explanation? Kapi means a monkey. Asa means the rear end of a monkey. Ramanuja said no. The Kapi means the sun. And Asa means that which blooms. So what does the sun cause to bloom? Lotus flower. So the Lord's eyes are beautiful reddish, like the beautiful reddish petals of a lotus flower. So they had several disagreements, and it finally came to the point where Yadav Prakash wanted to kill Ramanujacharya. They made plans to kill him. They'd take him on Tirtha Yatra and kill him, but his cousin Govinda became aware of the plot, and he warned Ramanuja, you be careful, you leave immediately and go to the forest. So Ramanuja went to the forest, and he's thinking, this is a very dangerous place, lions, and elephants, and tigers. And then one couple, very divinely effulgent couple, dressed as hunter and huntress, led him out of the forest. He went to sleep and he woke up just outside the precincts of the temple. I'm forgetting the name of the temple. What is the name of the city where Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram. This old age will come to you one day also. So he found himself just outside the precincts of Kanchipuram. Another nice Leela is that king's daughter was haunted by a ghost. And they tried everything. They brought tantrics, made different arrangements with amulets and chanting shlokas, Vishnu Sahasranam, different ashtakams. Nothing worked. So they brought Yadava Prakash. In fact, he's a powerful guru. And she began to scream, get him out of here. He can never help me. I need the water that has washed the feet of Ramanuja. The ghost speaking from inside the girl's body. This is not imagination. In our society, we had one example of this. A very young, delicate girl began speaking, take me to Puri. Like, what? The parents are like, what is going on? Take me to Puri. Like, what happened to our daughter? What is going on? So they took her to Puri. The ghost left her body and said, actually, I was a devotee my last life, and I stole money from the temple, and I didn't get a body. I had to take ghost body because of my offense. Another time, a dog came to our Mayapur temple, and in front of Prabhupada's Vyasasana, doing Shastanga Dandavat Pranam. They're like, hey, dog, no, get out, hut, hut, hut. They chased the dog out. Next day, there he is, in front of Prabhupada's Vyasasana, doing Shastanga Dandavat Pranam. They put him in Sankirtan vehicle. They took him 200 kilometers away. And 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, there he is in front of Prabhupada's Vyasasana. He's devotee. He made some serious offense, and he took birth as a dog. So be careful, Prabhus. It's not this Kantimala is very nice, but it's not an absolute guarantee you can do anything in your life and not get result. So be very careful. Maya is very powerful. These are true stories. So they took the water that washed the lotus feet of Ramanuja, and the ghost left, very happily left, and the girl came back to consciousness, and the king was so grateful that he assisted Ramanuja in spreading his teaching all over. There's a wonderful Leela where he was told secret mantra. This is very confidential mantra because this mantra will liberate anyone who chants it, but it's secret. As Guru told him, you cannot disclose this to anyone. If you disclose this mantra to anyone, this secret mantra, you will go to hell. So Ramanuja considered, if this mantra is so powerful that anyone who chants it will become liberated, let the world become liberated. So he climbed up on the Gopuram and he made an announcement to the whole city. Everyone come, I'm distributing priceless jewels. Please come and take priceless jewels freely. I'm distributing freely. Everyone please come. So 1,000 people came. And he's standing on the Gopuram. Said, everyone repeat after me. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo. Thousands of people were chanting. And when his guru found out, he was furious. I told you this is a secret mantra, and you gave it to 1,000 people? You will go to hell. Ramanuja said, yes, I am prepared to go to hell if they are liberated. So because of this Leela, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that Ramanuja was avatar of Nityananda because of this mood of taking responsibility for the deliverance of fallen souls. So Ramanuja, there's a nice story about his sannyas. He was one of the main precepts of his teaching was to reject caste consciousness. And this is Shastra. There's, of course, it's entered again in many, even in devotional associations. But this is one of his main, because his guru, Kanchipurna, was from Shudra family. But he didn't care because he was 100% pure devotee of the Lord. He saw what is the characteristic of his relationship with God, not what is his birth. Because this is part and parcel of our Siddhanta from Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam says, Yasya lakshanam poktam pumsa varna vyabanjikam yananyatat vidishyeta tatenaiva vinirlishet. If someone is born in the family of Shudras, but he has the characteristic, the guna and karma of a Brahman, he is a Brahman. And conversely, if someone is born in the family of Brahmanas, but has the characteristic of Shudra, he is a Shudra. And this is Krishna says directly, Chatur Vanyam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasa. That Vibhagasa means characteristic, the portfolio, who you are. How is it determined? By guna and by karma, not by birth. There's no mention anywhere of janma, of birth. So Ramanuja was a staunch adherent to this, staunchly promoted this, and accepted as a guru his Kanchipurna, who was from a lower class family. So one day, his wife and his guru's wife were at the well. And inadvertently, some water from his guru's wife splashed into his wife's water. And she became furious. You think you're so great because you're the wife of my husband's guru that you can disrespect me? You've contaminated my water. And she completely insulted this Brahmani. Not Brahmani, but the wife of Ramanuja's guru. Became very, very disturbed. So offense number one. And then Yadava Kanchipurna came to Ramanuja's house to take prasadam. Ramanuja wasn't there at the time. So his wife, very faithfully served Mahaprasad, and then she took those remnants that were left after he ate and fed them to a cow, and took cow dung and smeared and cleaned everything very nicely, thinking that a Shudra has come to our house, and this food that he's left is untouchable. Remnants of pure devotee are very, very powerful. The foot dust of pure devotee are very, very powerful. Water that's washed the lotus feet of a pure devotee is very, very powerful. Just as we would become diseased accepting food from a diseased person, infected. When we take these things, we become infected with Krishna Bhakti. But his wife, thinking that this is impure, this is juta, throw it out, give it to a cow, clean the place. Ramanuja came back, where's the remnants? Where's the uchishta, sacred uchishta of my guru? So I fed it to a cow. Ramanuja couldn't tolerate it. So he hired a Brahmin and employed a Brahmin to make a letter of supposedly from his wife's daughter, from his wife's father. And he said, my dear daughter, I'm missing your association so much. You please come and visit. So the girl went back to her father. Ramanuja took sannyas. This is a nice story. Once Ramanuja was walking with his disciples, and they sat to take prasadam. After they were through, they took half, and that what was left, they threw in a pond. And some fish came and ate that Mahaprasad. And almost immediately, those fish manifest Chaturbhuj Narayan forms and went back to Godhead in front of his disciples. So they were very curious, like, we're taking this prasadam every day. Why are we not going? So Ramanuja replied, He said, I forgot here. Said, we're taking Mahaprasadam daily, but this is not happening to us. Ramanuja said, these creatures have no free will and therefore make no offense. So they get full benefit at once. But you, with your free will and human intelligence, make offenses, and thus you hinder your own progress. We make offenses and hinder our own progress. But the fish, no free will, they took Mahaprasad, got Vishnu form, went back to Godhead. Another time, Ramanuja was talking to his sannyasi disciples, and he promoted this idea of prapati, of surrender, like we read in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmam Paricha, Mamekam Sharanam. Just surrender, prapati. This is an essential principle, the conclusion of all Sri Vaishnava theology. That actually is a very nice website too. It's called prapati.com. Many, many nice shlokas, ashtakams, sahasranam, stotras. It's full of all kinds of nectar, prapati.com. So this is the idea of prapati. So his disciples were arguing, that's all there is? That's just prapati? Ramanuja said yes. So as they were arguing, a tailor walked by. Blind men and dumb men couldn't see and couldn't speak. Ramanuja said, come. He took him inside the room, and devotee was peeking through the window to see what was happening. Ramanuja told the tailor that you offer obeisances to my feet. So the tailor offered obeisances to the lotus feet of Ramanujacharya and became overwhelmed with Ashtasattva bhava, crying, horripilation on his body, voice choked, completely overwhelmed with love of God by taking shelter of the lotus feet of a pure devotee. And this is our process. This is our whole process, is to take shelter, lotus feet of devotee. This is a process of approaching Krishna. Jai Shri Shri Radha Bhakti Hari Ki Jai Jai Jagannath Swami. So Ramanuja left, just before he left this world, he left his last instructions, and they're very important for all of us. His first instruction was to always remain in the association of devotees. This is very important instruction. They asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a Vaishnava? And he said, a satsanga tyaga e Vaishnavacha. A Vaishnava is that person who refuses to accept association with non-devotees. But we should understand this carefully. It doesn't mean if you're on Sankirtan or you're at work and someone speaks to you, no, don't talk to me. I don't associate with non-devotees. No, I'm Hare Krishna. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. What does not associating mean? It means that we're merciful to the non-devotees. We show good example to the non-devotees, but we don't enter into their realm of consciousness. For example, if you're at work, you associate. Example is better than precept. Many people become devotees just by the example of other devotees. But if they ask you, hey, it's Friday night, after work, let's go party. Let's go to the club and dance and drink. And if you go with them, this is association with non-devotees. If you enter into their consciousness, then this is association with non-devotees. But it doesn't mean we don't talk. It doesn't mean that we don't talk to anybody. That means that we don't enter into their consciousness, their value system. If we do, this is cause of fall down. So Ramanuja said, always remain in company of devotees. Number two, have faith in Vedas and in the words of great devotees. Have faith in Vedas. Faith is very, very important. And how do we establish faith? How do we increase our faith? Again, association with devotees. I may be a number one nonsense, but these devotees are so nice. Let me stay with devotees and have faith in the process of Krishna Bhakti. And Krishna says in Gita, if you don't, what is the result? Ashadadhana purusha dharmasasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu sansara vartmani. If someone is ashadadhana, faithless, they enter again into material life. Mrityu sansara vartmani. The choice is always ours, isn't it? How will we choose? We choose Krishna or we choose Maya. Maya is always there. Krishna Soya Sam Maya Haya Andhakar. We face Krishna, there's no shadow. If we face the sun, there's no Maya. You face Krishna, there's no Maya. Krishna is like the sun, Maya is like the shadow. Maya doesn't exist independently. You can't put shadow inside or darkness inside a bottle and say, here, have some darkness. Darkness simply means an absence of light. So absence of Krishna means Maya, and presence of Krishna means no Maya. Simple thing. So we have to have that faith, ashraddhatana. Otherwise, mrityu sansara vartmani. Maya is also a good teacher. You don't want to surrender to Krishna? No problem. Take how many births you want. Take as many as you want. Stay here as long as you like. Krishna is very kind. You want to eat meat? Be a tiger. You want to have unrestricted relationship? Then be a sparrow. That's all they do. Or be a monkey. I was watching the monkeys at Radha Damodar. We were in one room and the monkeys were outside on the wall. And that's all they do, is they eat and they have sex. That's their life. And they steal. So you can be a monkey, if that's what you want. You can be a monkey in Vrindavan. And then go back to Godhead. But why be a monkey? Why be a dog, a pigeon? This is Maya's blessing, to teach you, to give you a good kick. Because many of these creatures are Krishna conscious. They're fallen devotees. Like our dog in the temple in Mayapur. Fallen devotee. So Maya can give you a good lesson also, give you a good kick. If you lose faith. So faith is maintained by controlling your senses and stay in association of devotees. Simple thing. He said, number 3, never become a slave of your senses. Conquer the 3 gates to hell. What are the 3 gates to hell? Yes, Trivanam Narakasyedam Dwaram Nashanam Atmana. Kama Lobha. Kama Krodha Tata Lobhas Tasmari Tattayam Tejan. The lust, anger, and greed. 3 gates to hell. We embrace that, we'll immediately experience unhappiness and hellish life. So this is, again, statements of, what does Acharya teach? What Shastra teaches? Exactly. So he says, reject this. Don't be a slave to your senses, because Maya is a thankless master. And kama rupena konteya dushparena nalena cha. That lust burns like fire. You can't extinguish a fire by giving fuel to it. Correct? The more fuel you give, the hotter it burns. There's a story. You ever heard of the Great Chicago Fire? In the early 1900s, a lady was milking her cow early in the morning. It's dark out, so she had a kerosene lantern. The cow was having a bad day. Knocked over the lantern caught the straw on fire, which caught the barn on fire, which caught the neighborhood on fire, which caught the whole city. Half the city burned down from one flame. What will happen to that flame if you just let it sit? It burns out. And so our desires will also burn out. We become free by not attending to them. We control our mind by neglecting the mind and practicing tolerance. Otherwise, kama rupena, the lust will simply increase. By trying to satisfy material desires, they will simply increase more and more and more. So his instruction was, don't be slave to your senses. Number 4, worship the Lord and take pleasure in Harinam as your only reference. Take pleasure in Harinam, because this is the whole greatest pleasure. Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalepyo mangalam. Madhuram madhuram etan mangalam mangalanam sakalanagam satpalam chitsarupam shachidapis satsaram chachidapi. I'm forgetting the words. Anyway, Shastra is saying Madhuram madhurebhyopi is the most sweet thing amongst all sweet things. So if we actually experience Harinam, we become completely satisfied. Take shelter of Harinam as your only reference. Shastra says, Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hadiyeshava tata tishtami narada yatra gayanti mad bhaktaha. Lord said, I'm not in Vaikuntha. Naham tishtami vaikunta. I'm not there in Vaikuntha. Yoginam hadiyeshava. I'm not in the heart of the meditating yogi. Where am I? Rata Gayanti Mad Bhaktaha, where my devotees are singing my name. I'm at that place. So how much happiness is there in Harinam Sankirtan if we actually embrace it? This is our happiness. And number 5, serve great devotees as the highest service. Parvati asked her husband, Lord Shiva, so who is the most worshipable person? And she said, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam taram param tasmat parataram devi tvadiyanam samarchanam. He said, Lord Vishnu is the topmost worshipable person. And more than Vishnu is the devotee. Tadiyanam samarchanam, those things associated with the Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a nice story with Ambarish Maharaj, you must know. He was attacked by Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni tried to kill him for slightest defense. Sudarshan Chakra came to protect Maharaj Ambarish and began to chase Durvasa Muni throughout the universe. He went all the way to Vaikuntha, threw himself at the feet of Lord Vishnu and said, please, protect me. But Vishnu said, I cannot. You have offended my devotee. Then beautiful shlokas come. He said, Aham bhakta paradino nasvatanta ivadjaja. Saudibhya grasta hridayam bhaktar bhakta jana priyaha. Lord said, I have no independence. Nasvatantra ivadvaja. Oh, my dear Dvija, my dear Brahmin, I have no independence. I am under the control of my devotee. Sadhava hridayam mayam sadhava hridayam maham natam. Sadhava hridayo mayam sadhanam hridayam taham. Manayatena jananti naham tebyo managapi. He said, the sadhus, the devotees are in my heart, and I am in the heart of devotees. The devotees don't know anything but me, and I don't know anything but them. So how do you get Krishna? From devotees. Because devotees are so dear to Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite par, tomara shakati ache. Amito kangal, Krishna Krishna bole dai tava pache pache. Beautiful rhyming poetry. Gache pache. Rhyming couplets. You know, Srila Prabhupada also wrote this Gita Gun, 700 verses in Bengali verse, each one corresponding to a verse from Bhagavad Gita, and each one rhyming couplets. Prabhupada was also known as Kavi in his life, poet. So we want Krishna, go to devotee. And Bhagavatam says there's no other way. Rahugunai tat tapasanayati na chetchayanam nirva. The chandasa naivaja lagna surya vinamahat pada rajo bhishekam. The one has to smear his body with the dust of the lotus feet of pure devotee. There is no other way to get Krishna. So as we read in Shastra, Acharyas are also teaching. This is the value of hearing from Acharya. Because they're not presenting anything, they're not manufacturing a philosophy. They're giving philosophy as it is. So we revere great acharyas like Ramanuja, Madhva, Kumara Sampradaya. We revere these acharyas. Although there are slight differences, there are cousins, our cousin brothers, you can say. So on the appearance of great acharyas like Ramanuja Acharya, Madhva Acharya, you should beg mercy from them. Let me be merciful to the fallen souls as you were merciful. Let me preach Krishna Bhakti as you preach Krishna Bhakti. And when you may get the opportunity to go to Srirangam, the body of Ramanujacharya is there. They cover with some special chandan and herbs and things for 1,000 years. And they say that they have to cut his fingernails. Go figure. So sadhu, pure devotee, is never out of our reach. They're out of our vision, but not out of our reach. So we can pray, especially when their mercy is available on their appearance and disappearance days, that please bless me, because this is the essence of our philosophy. Why did Arjuna have Kapidvaja? Kapi Dwaja means the flag, the dwaja of Kapi, of Hanuman. So how I want to serve I want to serve Rama like you served Rama. So we can pray to great acharyas, let me serve the Lord like you serve the Lord. Please bless me with your mercy. Any comments or questions? Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Next question is like you said that you quoted Srila Prabhupada from the purport that Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru are same and identical. So my question is that like we have so many Shiksha Gurus when we come to Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
There is one Diksha Guru at the time we take initiation.
Correct.
The Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus, they are means on different level of consciousness. Like we see that when we come to Krishna consciousness, some Shiksha Guru is there, and when we take Diksha from a Diksha Guru, his level of consciousness is higher. So how can we?
Why you say higher? What makes it higher?
Means they have served.
Who is it? Who is the Shiksha Guru? Who is the Diksha Guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur?
Yes.
Anybody know? He had a Diksha Guru. Who is the name of his Diksha Guru? Is it Jagannath Das Babaji? No. Bipin Bihari. But his Shiksha Guru, his everything was his Shiksha Guru. We have who is the Diksha Guru of Jagannath Das, of Gorkishore Das Babaji? What was his Diksha Guru? What was his name? Bhagavat Das Babaji. But his Shiksha Guru, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, was everything to him. And try and put this in your brain and digest it. That Bhaktivinoda Thakur took Babaji Vesh from his disciple, Gorkishore Das Babaji. So Guru Tattva is not an easy thing to understand. Diksha Guru typically receives worship, and Prabhupada says in the same purport that their activities are different, but they're equal and identical. So we can't say higher. If they're equal and identical, you can't say Shiksha Guru is less. Because in that same section it says to distinguish between them is to make an offense in the discharge of a devotional service. So don't be implicated in this. You're sitting here because some Shiksha Guru, some kind devotee inspired you. We're all sitting here because of that. Some Shiksha Guru inspired you to take up the process of Krishna consciousness. And you get diksha from someone, you say, bye-bye Shiksha Guru. See you later. We owe that person. We owe them. Not higher, equal and identical. So I cut you off, but did that answer your question? Finish your question.
Of course, I didn't mean that to distinguish or to distinguish between them. I was saying that when we come in my life, that when I came in ISKCON, that in what to say, in initial days, some what to say, who was my mentor, who were my mentor. So their consciousness was also not like devotees who were very elevated. That
Okay.
was my question.
Okay.
So how can I treat them equally? That is my question.
Who is Bilamangal Thakur's Guru? You know? She was a prostitute. He was very addicted to her association. And one day, his father's Shraddha ceremony was going on, but he could hardly wait to go see her. He left the ceremony prematurely, made an offense to his own father. And there was a huge storm going on. He swam across Ganga. He went with extreme difficulty. He went to her. And she said to him, if only you had so much enthusiasm, so much dedication to Krishna, instead of to this mortal body of bones and flesh and skin and fat. And it hit him like a thunderbolt. So he accepted Chintamani, the prostitute, as his Shiksha Guru. She brought him to Krishna consciousness. So Guru Tattva is not easy to understand. So your mentor, you should be completely appreciative. We owe that person. I'm sitting here because of Dinabandhu Prabhu. Because when I came to the temple for the first time, he didn't judge me. Do you drink beer? Do you have a girlfriend? He was kind. He fed me prasadam and didn't judge me and told me stories about Krishna and engaged me in service. And because of the kindness of a Vaishnava, we're all sitting here today. We owe that person. We should always keep that person a special place in our heart. And you should be that person for somebody else. Then there's hope to repay the debt of gratitude that we owe to our gurus. We say, Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha, right? Gurun is plural. Not okay. The tendency is, oh, my Diksha Guru. Everything. He may or he may not be. Your Siksha Guru may be more important in your life, as it was in the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You require Diksha Guru. Diksha Guru is one. Siksha Guru is many. So they should be revered equally. And that is a fault that should be corrected in the lives of many devotees. Don't exclude your Siksha Guru. Don't lose appreciation for your Siksha Guru because of your affection and appreciation for your Diksha Guru. Because they're equal and identical. Okay. Okay.
Talks about that belief is he talks about belief and faith. So can you please explain the difference between belief and faith?
Belief and faith. You read it in English or in Hindi? In English. Faith describes Prabhupada as Shraddha, that I have absolute faith in this. And belief is like a lesser characteristic. Really, they're quite the same. Belief and faith. I believe Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And faith is that I have absolute faith that He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Faith, you can say faith, that Shraddha is the culmination of a belief. You can cultivate belief, but when it's mature, then we say this is Shraddha. It matures into unshakable faith. That is Shraddha. But belief is more, yeah, I believe Krishna is God, yes. As opposed to Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no doubt. Jai Shri Radha Banki Bihari ki jai. Jai Jagannath Swami. Okay, Prabhuji.
Similar question, it is like you mentioned, both Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru are same. So, like you told very wonderfully how we could be that person for someone else also. But for that person, how can we serve? Like even if, like, suppose the person who brought me here, now he's not with us. So how can I serve him? So, like, what can I do? So that is my question. That person not good, because if I will follow it, that will not be good. So how to do this dealing and really how to serve that person?
By fulfilling his desire for you. He brought you to Krishna because he wanted you to become Krishna conscious. So if you become Krishna conscious, he'll be very happy. Isn't it? And you can hope that if he's left the association of devotees, you can hope for his rectification. That he comes back to the association of devotees. The devotee I joined with, a bunch of us went to the temple for the first time. And he and I both became devotees. We were both initiated by Prabhupada, first and second initiation. But he left. Maya is very powerful. Because he was addicted to music and the idea of becoming famous as a musician. He was a talented musician. He couldn't give it up. You know what he's doing today? Because he was playing like Beatles songs, Grateful Dead, Elvis Presley, all old songs. So he's playing those songs at old folks' homes, and people are like drooling on themselves, and he's playing Beatles songs. Very sad. Very sad. But Kontya Pratijanihi Nami Bhakta Pranashiti. Krishna can never forget. Shraddhaya Hilanam Nama. Ratani Mama Jantuva Tisham Nama Sadaparta. Vartate Hridaye Mama. Krishna says, Adi Purana. Says, I can never forget a person who chants my name. Krishna can never forget a devotee who does even the smallest thing. Neha Bhakkamana Shosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Swalpam Apasya Dharmasya Jayate Mahato Bhayat. Even this Swalpam Apasya means the smallest thing we do for Krishna. Krishna can never forget. He's so kind. So he wanted you to become Krishna conscious. He brought you to Krishna conscious. So be Krishna conscious. Everybody's happy. He should be happy. You're happy. Krishna's happy. Everyone's happy. That's okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
What is the purpose behind the disturbance in the service? I want to serve without any disturbance in my mind. But whenever I try, some disturbance is here. How should I react in that situation?
Disturbance is always there. You think I never experienced disturbance? Whole material life is the whole thing is a disturbance. Mind is disturbing, senses are disturbing, body is disturbing. It's a disturbing proposal. We can't complain. Tateno kampam susamikshamam bonjana evatmakritam vipakam. Evatmakritam, you made your life. If you have a disturbed mind, you got the mind you created by your last life. If you have disturbing senses, you got the senses you created by your past life. What is the solution? You have to tolerate. Tam satiksha subharata. Mata sparshasta kunteya sitoshna sukadugada. Agama paino nistas. Tam satiksha. Can you change? If you're unhappy with the weather, can you change it? Oh, it's too chilly. It's too chilly. You can't change it. Sita and Ushna, summer and winter. Sukh and Dukh. Sukh and Dukh come by our karma. Like some days you wake up, you just feel enthusiastic, you feel satisfied, you feel happy, you feel fired up. Let's read scripture, let's do kirtan. And the next day you wake up, oh God. Did anything change? It's just the modes of nature. You didn't do anything wrong. It's the nature of this world, Sukh and Dukh. Dvanda Mohena Bharata. We're bewildered by the dualities of material life. So what is the solution? Tolerate the things you can't change. Until you're gunatita suuchate. Until you're transcended the modes of material nature, we're subjected to the dualities of material life. Happiness and distress. And what devotee doesn't experience that unless you're a completely liberated soul? So the disturbance you have to tolerate, it will come, guaranteed. And the opposite all comes, peace of mind comes, and then the disturbance. It's duality of life. Krishna said, you tolerate the happiness, because it won't stay. Don't become so attached to being happy that you get so disturbed when it leaves. Attachment is the cause of our suffering. If you analyze, it is attachment that is the cause of our suffering in this world. Yes,
What is the most appropriate way to express gratitude to the Guru Tattva?
to express our attitude? Gratitude. We should have an attitude of gratitude. Express our gratitude. How to express gratitude? By following his instructions, number one. How are you grateful? Because Guru is extending himself by his instructions. How do we become Krishna conscious? Pranipatina, tadvidi pranipatina, pariprashnena sevya upadikshanti tegya jnanina statinash. First principle, pranipat, surrender. Surrender to what? You offer some flowers. Okay, now I'm surrendered. I offered flowers at your feet. That's nice. But follow his instructions. What is the relationship between guru and disciple based on? Instructions. And pariprashna. Pariprashna means relevant inquiry. Inquire from your guru. If you have no burning desire to know, to understand, you don't need a guru. He's just there. You offer some flowers, offer arti, but you don't want to hear him. You don't want to follow his instructions. So we can express our gratitude by doing what he asks us to do, following his instructions. Learn from him. Seva, offer service. This is the formula. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains by these three interactions, by pariprashna, by inquiry, relevant inquiry, not challenging what you know, by relevant inquiry, by service, and by surrender. And one also has the hope of also becoming tattvadarshi, fully Krishna conscious, seer of the truth. Not as an analogy, seer of the truth, but seer of the truth, absolute truth, Krishna, eye to eye and face to face. This is the result of surrender to Guru, hearing from him, and serving him. As Krishna, this is the formula. Excuse me, for Krishna, how to achieve Krishna. So we show our gratitude by following his instructions, being the best devotee you can be. And as sadhakas, that doesn't mean immediately, oh, he said that I'm following perfectly. Be the best devotee you can be. Sadhana is a process. Sadhana is a process. It's not a light switch from darkness to light. Boom, now I'm Krishna conscious. Sadhana is like the sunrise from darkness to light gradually as time passes. That's my personal experience, and I see that in the lives of every other devotee I know. We're not born self-realized. We have to accept the process. And the process takes time. It takes time. But what else is there to do? Dive back into material life and do the same damn thing over and over again? There's nothing left to do. We've come, actually, Shastra, what is that? Aho bata sapacho to guriyan yad shavargri vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste jahu varshashnaraya brahmanuchva nama gananti yete. If the holy name is on the tip of your tongue, jivagri, you've done everything your last life. You practiced yoga, you did holy dip, tirtha yatra, dhan, tapas, swadhyaya, studied shastras, everything. Even if you're born in a family of dog eaters, what is left to achieve? If you've done all those spiritual activities, your past life, what is left to achieve? What is it? Krishna Prema. Because from Krishna Nama, we get Krishna Prema. But in due course of time, according to our commitment, according to our enthusiasm, and according to the mercy of the Lord and Vaishnavas. It's scientific. So how to express gratitude? Follow the process. Do what your guru asks you to do. How are you grateful if you ignore the instructions of your guru? Rise early. Well, that's not what he means. 7 o'clock's early enough. Is that gratitude? He's asking you to do something so that bhakti, the fruit of Krishna consciousness, is in your grasp. So follow his instructions and you'll get the result. It's very scientific. Bhakti this is the science of Krishna consciousness, the science of self-realization. Okay?
How can we develop loving relationship, spiritual relationship between devotees? Like when we are close together, like familiarity breeds contempt. So
Yes.
that thing happens. So how can we change that to spiritual and loving relationship?
Two things. First thing you have to tolerate, because we're not perfect. We have our anartas. You've seen monkeys in Vrindavan in the wintertime? Like 20, 30 all huddled together like this, trying to stay warm. With each other's bodily warmth, they all huddle together. So there's a creature called Sahi, porcupine. They do the same thing, but they have these quills. sharp quills, and they poke each other. They need each other to stay warm, but they poke each other. This is sadhu sangha, oftentimes, in our imperfection, especially in the ashram. You're all living packed up together in a limited space, and you have to be tolerant. Because sometimes we poke each other. And you don't mean to offend anybody. But you're having a bet, you say something, or oh, he won't mind if I borrow his gumshoe, So be tolerant. Second thing, appreciate how rare devotees are. Devotees are very, very rare. We're out on Harinam, right? Chanting. Who's joining us? Who has joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan party? Only the most fortunate person. Or we did this program yesterday with Prabhuji and Gadadhar Gauranga Prabhu. I forgot your name, Prabhu. Sarvatma Sham Prabhu. They did wonderful programs. They invited me to come. So we gave some lecture. And as I'm lecturing, they're making questions from the lecture. Then they did a quiz on the board. And there's a competition who answers the questions correctly. And some people just obviously antagonistic to the principle of bhakti. Is there a God? There's a section that types no. How to be happy in the material world? By enjoying my senses. There's a section that types, yes, I want to enjoy my senses. They're antagonistic to the principle of bhakti. So there's that section of person who accepts the process. In your country, people are Krishna conscious. By and large, you scratch the surface, they're Krishna bhakti. They're Ram bhaktis, Krishna bhaktis, Vishnu bhaktis. But how to bring a person from piety to commitment of accepting Guru, accepting sadhana, and going back to Godhead. If piety is like 1 to 5, okay, there's many, many people, all pious people. I'm amazed in so many pious people. If I give a class in America, if I speak for 45 minutes or an hour, then I ask for questions. What kind of question am I going to get? Hey man, what's the stuff on your forehead? Brilliant question. Brilliant. You're such a genius. Or if you're asked them to chant, okay, everyone chant Hare Krishna. Hari who? Hari who? No piety. Swalpa punyavatam rajan vishvaso naiva jayate. They have no punya. Swalpa punya, no punya. That's tiny punya. This is the land of, this is punya bhumi, where people know Krishna, they know Ram. They know what they should be doing, but they're not doing it. Like these two professors. They're both born in Brahmin families. They said, okay, Panditji, what are you doing? Can you quote one verse from Bhagavad Gita, Panditji? One verse. He says, no. Do you chant jap? No. What are the qualities of Brahman? No. They know they should be better. And we simply have to encourage people. So Gadadhar Gauranga Prabhu is going to bring them Japamala, get them chanting Hare Krishna. Because they know. What was the original question? I lost track.
Loving spiritual.
Yes, with devotees. Appreciate the rarity of devotees. Devotees are rare. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaya. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschid mam veti tattataha. Devotees are 1 in a million. 1 in a billion, practically. Rare people. Because they come to Krishna. They want Krishna. We're not there, but my highest prayojana, the highest objective of life is Krishna bhakti. Nothing else. That's a rare person. After many, many lifetimes, one comes to that stage. So be respectful to devotees. Love devotees and they'll love you. Then there's, dadati pratigranati. There's 6 symptoms of serving devotees. Give devotee prasadam, eat prasadam. Give some small gift. Accept a gift. Reveal your mind. Inquire confidentially. These are also symptoms of love that we should try and establish in our relationships with devotees. Or there's something nice written on the story here. In our relationships, think of that person in your life that you love the most. Your mother, your father, your wife, your brother, sister, whoever that person is, you love them very much. Establish that kind of relationship with every other person in your life. Very good advice. And Tranadapi Sunechena Tororapi Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. That's not easy. It's not easy. But this is our object, this is our our cherished hope that I can be like that. Amanina Manadena. Prabhu, you're great, Vaishnava. I'm a rascal. I'm your dog. Vaishnava Thakur Tamara Kukur. You're great, Vaishnava. I'm your dog. Please feed me. Be nice to me. Pat me now and then. Encourage me. Okay, I think we should stop. Yes? Hey, Srila Ramanujacharya ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.